out of my way.
You're always so angry.
Caledonia, get back here.
Hello, I think I'm live now. The usual checks. Can anybody see me? Can anybody hear me? I should be getting it there now, and people should be able to hear me and see me. I hope. I'll just turn myself off here on the other screen. I'm good. Excellent. Hey, I'm getting quite good at this, aren't I? No messing about. Right, okay. A few hellos. Aussie 1957, you were here first. Hello to you. Gerard McGlinchey. Hi, Gerard. Stephen Marshall. Yeah, loved seeing how you kept your cool with Ranger. Okay, I'll be talking a little bit about that as the show, we'll call it a show, as the show goes on tonight. Right, okay, Stevie, how you doing? That'll be Brian there for Borders Drone Seekers, just prior to going on to the Drone Seekers International. Right, okay. Brian Graham, hello. Jim Thorley, here we go. Saffron Games. Wayne B. Lynn Smith, how you doing, Lynn? You alright? Jim, how you doing, Jim? Oh, skipped right past you, Jim. There you go. Getting me fine and clear. Okay, there. Sorry, I flew past you there, Fish Diaries. New name to me. Right, Airborne Drone, hi. Rose, how you doing? Thank you for your blessings. Lovely. Right, Mark Sullivan. Oh, did you set your alarm, Mark? Only a minute late. Well done. There we go. So that's everybody so far in the chat, right? I'll get back to saying hello to a few more people as they pop in, as long as I've got that right. I've got talk chat there. I'll switch it over to live chat. Somebody told me I need to do that, so I've just in there. So aye, so there, Gerard. Can I see a driving licence? Good way to start us off. It's the kind of big topic of the week, I suppose. It certainly has been for me. The views on that video have taken off, even though it was only, I think it was 1 minute and 20 seconds or something. The full story of what happened there was that I was recording the video. I think it was a signal test or something. I can't remember what it was, and I'd pretty much completed the test, and I'd brought the drone in, and I was having a wee look at the dam, which was just, I don't know, 100, 150 metres away. I thought I'll take a few pictures of it so that I can compare, you know, what the pictures look like. Saffron Games, thanks very much for becoming a member. Appreciate that. It's getting a lot of fanfares going on there as well. Appreciate you becoming a member. So, I was recording, I think it was the range test. I'd flown the drone back in. It was the Mini 3 that was up at the time, I think. And she was hovering close to the dam because I wanted to take a few pictures. And then I spotted the Ranger van pulling up, and I thought, oh, hello. So I decided that I'll just kind of keep the drone where it is, turned it forward and kind of pushed it forward a wee bit because I wanted it to be in sight if I had to point it out. And as you saw, I came up and blast straight away. What are you doing? And I thought, here we go. And I actually thought he said, how are you doing? I said, I'm doing good. How are you doing? What are you doing? And I thought, okay. No drones, he says. And I thought, right, well, I know I'm all right to fly here, and I'm not going to put up any nonsense, but I'm not going to get aggro with the guy. So he came up, told me there was no drones. I told him I don't think so. Told him I was flying within 300 metres of the Osprey's nest, which, by the way, it's not illegal to do. It's stupid to do. It's something I would never do, but it's not actually illegal, right? But there was no rule about not flying with 300 metres within it. He was just making that one up. So immediately I just said, I'm nowhere near it. I know where the nest is, and I'll speak about that in a second as well. I know where the nest is. But he wasn't having any of it. And then he wanted to see my drone licence. And it was the word licence that I think just popped off well, if you want to see my licence, I want to see your licence. That was in my head, so I just said, can I see your driving licence? Which seems to have caught everyone's attention. It even got my attention. My mouth was saying it before my brain had engaged. Anyway, so away he went. He pulled forward. He said to me, his parting shot was, is that your red car over there? And I just laughed at him because I knew what he was going to do. And I just laughed and thought, go on, mate, you can do what you like. Take my registration, take photos of my car, I don't care. So that's what he did. He pulled up right in front of the car, sat there for about 5 minutes. I think he was taking a few photos of it, taking a note of the registration, probably phoning the police or whatever. I don't care. As I said to him at the time, I really don't care. I don't care about people complaining to me unless, you know, it's a justifiable complaint, and in this case it wasn't. So I expect I'll be seeing the Ranger again, and I'll be more prepared with a few. I'll have a chest camera on and different things like that. And if he wants to have a discussion, I'll have a good discussion with him, and I'll try and keep things as pleasant as I can. Who knows? He might just steer clear of me. Anyway, so that was it. Oh, the other thing, I've got an agenda again, so I've got 7 wee points in the agenda. And my first point here is that what I think happened there was there's a camera set right up at the Osprey nest, right? There was quite a lot of money invested. It was actually a fundraiser, one of these local fundraising things, for a camera. I think it was something like a £20,000 camera system to be set up right at the Osprey nest. But the money was raised by a little cafe, the Roundhouse Cafe, that sits. It's the only sort of eating place or takeaway or whatever at Lochdoon, and they raised the money for it, and they had it installed right at the nest, and it live streams constantly into 2 TV screens inside the Roundhouse Cafe. So it attracts a lot, and they've got big signs up everywhere. Come and see the ospreys in their nest. Come and see the mother osprey feeding the young hatchlings and all that. They've got posters up everywhere, signs on the main road. And it draws a lot of people into their cafe. And of course, when they're in the cafe, they're buying food and they're buying drinks and they're, buying all the wee trinkets that they sell, or the Scottish books and all the different things. And I mean, they make a fortune over it. And what I think may have happened is I think that it's possible they thought that there's a guy with a drone. Is he taking pictures of the nest or video footage of the nest? And is he a competitor? Is he going to be trying to take away some of our customers? Something like that? Let's put a stop to this. So they grabbed the hood of the Ranger. Now, let me explain what the Ranger is. The Ranger is just a guy like myself, like anybody else, who is employed by, there's a local estate there, I can't remember what it's called, but it's got a great big house, and there's glamping pods and different things like that on it, and it's a massive estate, and he's employed by that estate as a ranger on the upkeep of the estate. That's it. But he seems to have taken it upon himself to patrol the loch, which is public land, right? It's no private, it's public land. Patrol there and maybe tell the drone flyers they can't drone. Who knows what he's telling? I'm going to speak to some of the wild campers when I get a chance to go down and say, have you ever had any interactions with the ranger? Because I think he's probably been going round telling them to put their campfires out and you can't do that here and you can't do this here. So I want to have a chat with him about it. But I suspect it was the Roundhouse, the staff in there, maybe the owner, is thinking that I'm going to be some kind of competition to his camera at the nest, when I'm not. And I was nowhere near it. I know exactly where it is. It's supposed to be a big secret to stop egg poachers or egg thieves or whatever you want to call them, because it's a protected species and they're quite rare. So the eggs, I think they go for quite a bit of money. So it's kept secret. No one knows where it is. Right, but I know exactly where it is. But I would never fly anywhere near it or walk anywhere near it. Anyway, so that's what happened. And so I'll get back and have a wee look at the chat there. Right, okay. Well, there, so Saffron, you joined as a member to Ground Obstacle Avoidance. Thanks very much for that. If anybody else would like to join as a member, what you'll get is the Ground Obstacle Avoidances. You'll get previews to 99% of the videos before I release them on the main channel. I try to put them up a day, sometimes 2 days early, and let them run for a day or two, so that the members of the channel can get a look at the videos and comment on them if they want before they're actually released on the sort of main channel. There's a couple of other wee things you get as a member, like you can use special emojis, and you get a wee drone, and changes colour for every month that you're a member. Wee things like that, and it's only a couple of quid. I think I can't even remember now how much it is, but it's only a couple of quid to join. And the thing is, if you join for a month and you see a couple of preview videos and you think, oh, it's not really worth it for me, you can opt out. But the other thing is, I'm going to be having a draw of quite a nice prize. I spoke about it a couple of weeks ago for the members only, because I hit 5,000 subs a few weeks back. I've been really busy and haven't had time to do it yet, and I'm still waiting on one of the prizes to come in from one of the companies that's sending it. So I haven't get around. I can't do the draw yet because I haven't got all the prizes in. So if you want to become a member, even and then opt out if you're fed up with it, that's good enough. But thanks Saffron Games for joining. Right. Jim likes the t-shirt. Was it out in there? Aye, it's quite a good t-shirt that. I bought this at a country festival about, I don't know, about 8 or 9 years ago, and it's still like new. It's really good quality. It came from America, and it's excellent quality. It's got two crossed the pistols that what the pirates used to use. I forget what you call them, but two of them crossed in the back. Okay, right. Oh, Jim, I'm putting you up too many times, so there you go. Bavarian Sky Pixels, a little drone rebel. Well, actually, I mean, I would like to think that anyone who faced a similar situation to me would react in the same way. There's no need to get aggressive or anti or I don't think that certainly isn't for me. But to stand your ground or sit your ground like I did and just say, look, pal, I'm not eating what you're serving. All the best to you, but away back in your van and carry on whatever you're doing. I'm just going to. Aye, is that the roundhouse? Aye, the roundhouse is a wee. Hold on, I'm just going to change something up here. I can see myself delayed 10 seconds, and it's really distracting me. Aye, the roundhouse it's the wee take. It used to be just a takeaway place. You could get rolls, and like a roll for anyone who's not Scottish is a bun, a bun with a thing, an egg in it, or a bit of sausage or a bit of bacon in it. We call them rolls, or a bacon roll. You can get things like that, sandwiches, sweeties, cups of tea, cups of coffee. But they built on a sitting down, a place where you can go and actually sit down, and they put in two big screens in there so that you can watch live the camera feed that's coming. I mean, it sits right at the ostrich nest. I mean, you can see into their eyes. It's like that close to it, and it's really nice. I've been in a couple of times with my grandkids, watching the ostriches in the nest. It's good to watch. So now I don't know if it was them that complained, but it kind of makes sense. I don't think any of the wild campers would have complained. Anyway, there you go, Caroline. May you see my licence? Aye, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. How about that then, eh? Right, maybe he thought he was a Power Ranger. He maybe did. Right. Okay, Gerard's asking, on the Mini 3, does the Follow Me mode work on 4K 60? Good question. I don't think so, because I haven't tested it and I haven't looked. Can't remember, but I don't think the sensors, the obstacle avoidance sensors, work in 60 frames a second. I could be wrong about that. Maybe it's just the zoom in and zoom out that doesn't work at 60. It's good. It's a good question, Gerard. I'll test that. I'll go out and test that and do just a short couple of minutes video to let you know as soon as I get a chance. I mean, looking out the window just now, and the weather's terrible at the moment. It has been for days. But I'll get on that if you remind me. Put it into the comments of this live stream when it's finished. Put it into the comments so that and I'll take a wee note from that to go out and do that, because that's actually a good question. There's Saffron Games saying no, and it doesn't work on 4K 60 yet. I know that the zoom doesn't work on the 60. But yeah, if Saffron's Games is saying that it doesn't work on the follow mode, I will check it anyway, because it's a good thing to know for sure. Alan, hello, good day to you too. Right, and there's Al's Man Cave saying the drone polos. What do they know? I'm going to be talking about that. In fact, I might as well talk about that now. About trolls. The increase in trolls since I hit 5K subs. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. I mean, I get trolled quite a lot. The comments, somebody was having a go at me, not a go at me, but somebody was asking me if I was deleting comments. And I never ever delete comments. What sometimes happens is, quite, and it's been happening more and more and more, is that there's a wee set for any of you who have a YouTube channel, you'll know this. In YouTube Studio, creators get access to like a studio part of their YouTube where they can see analytics and different things like that. And in the comments section, there's a folder that some comments that the YouTube algorithm thinks may be inappropriate, it sends them there, and it's a held for review folder before they're released. And I have to then read them and decide whether I want to release them onto the main channel or not. So I don't delete anything, but some comments automatically get put in there. Now what I do is whenever I get the chance, I go in and I look at those comments. Now 99% of them I can't release because they're full of profanity, full of threats of violence to me. I'm not bothered about it, but I don't want to be releasing things like that onto the channel because my grandkids watch this and I don't want them getting upset by reading things like somebody's going to come up with a knife and find me, stick it in my throat. I don't want them reading that for obvious reasons. So any post like that, I delete from that folder. But if a comment is on the main channel, I don't delete it. People can disagree with me. I've got no issue with that at all. If someone puts up a comment that says, you didn't have VLOS there, I usually answer it, and or I'll ignore it. But I try to answer all of my comments. But the trolls and the number of comments that are going into that folder since I hit 5,000 subs, wow, it's incredible. I wonder if this happens with every channel that hits kind of 5,000 or starts to grow, if it's the same or if it's just me. But since the Ranger video came out, the trolls have gone through the roof, man. I've got about 14 people who are coming up to kick my head in. A couple of them are going to kill me. That's fine. Every time I get another one saying, I'm going to come and get you and sort you out, I can say, look, mate, you get to the back of the queue, like there's 13 people in front of you are coming to kick my head in, so, you'll probably have to wait a wee bit before before I get to you. So, aye. So that was agenda number two, the part of the trolls increasing. Now, one of the main problems that the trolls seem to have with me is that they keep saying I'm going beyond visual line of sight and I can't do that and I'm going to kill somebody and I'm dangerous and I'm a lunatic because I'm going beyond VLS over a loch, right? Okay. Most of you have probably seen the video that I posted over a year ago in answer to the haters and the trolls I was getting back then about going beyond visual line of sight. Some of you may not have seen it. I'm going to play a little clip, just a 2-minute clip of just the end of that video that I made a year ago now, and there's a reason for me playing it. So let me just set this one up for you, and I'll play this. 2 minutes of this. Here we go. I'll tell you what then. They just talked to you about that, the new. Let's see, have a wee walk. So let's go over here to the fence, off of the path, so we're not getting in the way of any walkers that come up this way. And I'll talk to you a little bit about what's happening here. Although I'm quite sure you worked it out by now. It's no hard to understand. Unless you're a wee drone police with a wee notepad and a wee pen. Right, let's get up to this fence up here and have a chat. Morning, lassie. Right, I'll stop that then. Obviously, something went a bit awry there with the sound. I don't know what happened to it. It was working earlier. Anyway, the whole point of that was that I made that video. I was getting so much ping for people saying that you're going to visual line of sight and I'm reporting you to CAA. And I get reported to the CAA and the police all the time, constantly reported. I'd say at least once a week. Maybe, it's exaggerating a bit. Maybe once a month I get reported. So I made that video just to show that video evidence of someone going beyond visual line of sight on the telemetry is no evidence at all, because I just showed there that the telemetry said that that my drone was 2,700 and whatever it was meters away, when in reality she was right there, right beside me. And I explain why in the video, but I'm not. If the sound's a bit dodgy, I'm not going to bother explaining it. You can go back and watch that video. It was made over a year ago, and the thumbnail has got two big red things on it that says "Report to CAA beyond VLOS." You can look it up. It was about a year ago if you want to see it. I'll probably put a link in this live stream once it's finished. But the reason I'm talking about this is because I'm going to make another one. I'm going to make another one down at Loch Doon that's going to address in particular the Loch Doon videos I've been doing, the ones where it looks as if I'm going beyond visual line of sight. And the reason I'm doing that is not to prove that I didn't go beyond visual line of sight. I'm not saying whether I did or whether I didn't, but I'm going to make it to show that a video is no proof of going beyond visual. And that's why the CA and the police never take any action. Because I can make my grandson look as if he's flying in a video, but he's not flying. So you can't put that into evidence. So that's so they can keep complaining and moaning all the like. I really don't care. Okay, so that was agenda point number 3. So let's have a look. People say, everybody's been telling me there's no sound. I know. I didn't realise. Obviously, something went wrong there, went awry. I'll need to fix that. I don't know what happened. Right, there you go. Brian is saying, it doesn't matter what you do, Robert, you'll never please everyone. I know it seems to be, to me though, that the number of complaints, not just about drone flyers, the number of complaints about anything are going through the roof these days. People seem to just want to complain about something. Everything's annoying people. I'm thinking maybe because we've been kind of locked down for a couple of years and been taken out of the normal socialising and being among people who do annoying things, but we are immune to it because we're interacting with them all the time. But for the past 2 years, we haven't been interacting with people. We've been in our own little bubbles where nothing annoys us. Well, not as much things annoy us. And then now that we're back into the open world and all of these annoying people are there, they're annoying us, and we think, you can't annoy me like that. I'm going to complain about you. Maybe it's something to do with that. I don't know. It's that kind of, I suppose that makes a bit of sense to me, but whether it's right enough or not, I don't know. Okay, so, and that's the other thing Jim has just said, was I not spotting for you? That's the other thing as well. People are complaining as well. The drone police and trolls and haters are complaining to me and threatening me because sometimes if I put my drone mask on, they tell me I need a spotter. But what they don't realise is that the drone mask has got a big hole in it. You just take the wee bit of stuff off, the bit of covering that's got Velcro on, and you've got a big hole there. But, you know, haters are going to hate, trolls are going to troll, and complainers are going to complain. So there you go. There you go. It's one of the reasons I wouldn't start off a channel in case I was breaking the note unintentionally, just maybe being scared. Yeah, the thing is though, Saffron, is that, like I said there, if you're a video editor, and I count myself as a video editor because I edit videos. I can make anything look like anything. I can make it look like my 6-year-old grandkid's flying with flames coming out his feet and lasers coming out his hands. You know, I can make it look as if my drone is 2,700 and odd meters away from me, and then show you that it's right there in front of me. So if you put a video up on your channel, don't be too worried about people. I'll report you to police. No one can do anything on that evidence. If you are flying illegally, someone actually has to be there and witness it in public. And it has to be more than one person, or it's your word against theirs. So don't, if you want to start a channel, start a channel. Don't be too worried about it. Okay? And you know, life's too short anyway. You know, do what you want to do, as long as you're not in hurting anyone or causing anyone massive distress, then you know, it's free to do what you like. It started here in the States. What's that you're talking about? People being snowflakes. I know. I don't really like the term snowflake. I think it's used unfairly often, but I do think that people have become more sensitive to things that annoy them these days, to the point where they think they're justified in complaining about it. Now, just because you're annoyed at something, or just because you don't like something, doesn't give you a right. You can complain about it. You can complain all you like, but it doesn't give you a right to expect something to be done about it. You know, and maybe people have just become, you know, a bit more sensitive, eh? There you go. The problem is now everyone's an expert. It's a very easy hobby to get into. It is, and I have a certain level of expertise, and well, it's no really expertise. It's a certain level of experience I've got, purely because I've been flying for a year and a half now. That doesn't mean I'm an expert in it. It just means I've been flying for a year and a half, and I've come to learn a lot of things over it. But I'm no expert. And even the people that sit down and read the regulations word for word and examine them, they're not necessarily experts either, because I've gone through all the regulations and there's a lot there that's up for interpretation. There are a lot of words there that can be interpreted in quite a number of different ways. It's never been tested in court yet. Anything about drones, about flying beyond line of sight, or anything like that. So, you know, we don't. There's no precedent set in courts yet, so we don't know how it would go. And here, I'm going to watch what I'm saying carefully here. I'm not condoning flying your drone outside of the CAA regulations or guide or what code of practice or whatever it is they want to call it. But what I won't ever do is I won't go above the height that they say is safe. And I think that makes sense, because you can get low flying aircraft. In fact, there was a video is buzzing about just now, of a guy who was flying his drone. I think it was 70 metres up he was, and he nearly crashed into a Lancaster bomber that was flying at 70 metres as well. Geeks Vanna was talking about it earlier today. Caroline, thanks very much for that. I really appreciate it, and I will keep just being me. I can't be anybody else because I'm just being me. Thanks, I really appreciate that. So I won't go above 120 metres for that reason. And I have seen, when I've been down at Loch Doon, I've seen those aircraft with the big things on the bottom where they can land in the water. I don't know what you call them, water planes. I don't know, but they can actually land in the water. And I've seen them coming in quite low. And what I've done there is, well, what I did is I stopped moving completely just to see, where is this aircraft going, what's it doing. It's always been quite a distance above me, but I just wait there until none of them have landed, which I'm waiting for one to land because it'd be nice to capture, but none have landed yet. They've always just kind of flown over and gone on. They've always been away above 120 metres, but I just stop and wait to see what they're doing, and then I carry on. And I wouldn't go above for that reason. I think anyone who does go above 120 metres is taking a hell of a risk. For anyone that does fly beyond visual line of sight over a loch or over an area that is basically uninhabited, I don't really see there's an issue with that. I'm not saying whether I do that or not. You can all watch my videos and decide for yourself. I don't see that there's any danger there, to be honest with you, differently from the danger of going above 120 metres. That's my opinion, and I'm not an expert, and I'm not the law. I'm just telling you the way the way I feel. Right, Steve. I know it. I don't know why this is, apart from the reasons that I've explained as a possibility. Um, is it happening everywhere? I mean, I know that we're quite a tolerant nation here in Scotland, but I'm noticing in Scotland quite a bit now. These, I hate the word snowflakes, but there are more of them. People being offended at things that they would not have been offended by, or they may have been offended by, but wouldn't have complained about it before. Is it happening in other countries too? I know it happens in the USA quite a lot. There's Jim. You had to land a few times for low-flying police helicopter in the operation area. Aye, this is it. We do have to be aware of it. And there's more of a chance of you running into, or them running into you, if you are above 120 metres. I know they're not supposed to come below, I think it's 400 metres, but you have to be a wee bit careful with your height, is what I'd say. Now I've flown, I think, 1,300 metres above my home point. I've done that. But that's when I've been getting up to the cairn table, and I have been keeping, going up because the ground goes up and you have to. So I've never been more than 120 metres above the ground. So you can still go up 1,000 metres up above your home point, as long as you're staying within that 120 metres above the ground at any whatever point the drone is above. I'm sure you all know this. I'm not trying to teach you to suck eggs anyway. Right, Mark, yeah, that's a good point. You're saying VLOS is outdated with technology we have today. The law needs to catch up. I do agree with you. I agree with you. This whole idea of having to look around the area to make sure that you're not going to collide with anything with your drone, really? I mean, especially with drones like the Mini 3 that have obstacle avoidance, if there's anything coming up on your left or right, your obstacle avoidance is going to go off. You're going to get visual indications on your screen anyway. So you're right. The laws have to catch up with the technology, I would say. And there you go, Caroline's got it right. Light aircraft, the best is using your ears. You're going to hear it long before you see it. Absolutely right. Doug says, still waiting for that Selkies video. Aye, and I'm sorry, Doug. I'm trying. I live quite a distance away from Stirling and Falkirk, and the only time I pass there is if I'm going up to Edinburgh to rehearse with the band, and we don't do a lot of rehearsals these days. So, I'll and the weather as well. If I can get a nice day and I'm heading up that way, I'll get the Selkies done for you. I will get it done this summer, no doubt about it. Right. Okay, Stevie says you have to watch your back up at Lochdoon now. The Rangers could be Scotland's after Mick Taylor for Wolf Creek. Don't want you going miss a Robert. I'm not really worried, Stevie, to be honest with you. I've got a lot of worldly experience in different things, and that I was in the army. I was a prison officer, blah blah blah. So I'm not too worried about anything like that. That's why I'm not too worried about all the people that are going to come up and stab me in the neck. I'm honestly not worried about it at all. That doesn't bother me. Right, Graham says, not sure my drone agrees. Don't know what Wayne B said to you, but fair enough. Right, I'm going to move on to just before I move on. So I'm going to be making another video like the one I did last year, just for the haters, the drone police, and the trolls. It's just especially for them. All right, and it's to show them that I'm going to. If it looks like I'm flying out 4 kilometres, doesn't mean I am flying out 4 kilometres. And I've got the thumbnail for you. So this is what the thumbnails, a wee preview of this. I haven't made the video yet, right? I'm still in the planning stages of it, and hopefully I'm going to do it next week. But I've done the thumbnail for it, so here is the thumbnail for that video, which I think is quite a jolly one. I quite like that. Okay, I might increase the size of my little personage there, right? So that's the thumbnail I'm going to be using. And here's another thing for all of the trolls and haters and drone police. If there's any of you in the chat just now, right, and you might be I don't really pay much attention. It's as much attention to the chat as I could because I'm looking at the camera. If there's any of you in there now, pipe up. Let's hear what you have to say. Don't be scared. Don't be a snowflake. If you've got something to say, come in and say it. Okay, but you won't. Of course you won't, because you're keyboard warriors. Anyway, I'm not going to get in an argument with you. Right. How are we doing for time? Oh my God, is that 25 to already? I've been wittering on for 35 minutes. Can't believe it. Right, Martin S says, I was walking up Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh last week and there was a drone following me on a path edge about 20 to 30 feet away. I'll confess I found it a wee bit annoying. What's your take on this? Jim, thanks very much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. You're some guy, and it's things like that are going to allow me to get up to the cell keys and do a bit of filming, because fuel is extortionate, as you all know at the moment. Fuel is so bad. So thanks very much, Jim. I really appreciate that. Right, Martin. Aye, okay. For those of you, cheers Jim, who can't see the end of that question, well, you can see it in the main chat. What's my take on this? Martin, eat it up, mate. You know what I mean? If you're being followed, they're not invading your privacy if you're out in public. This is one thing a lot of the auditors say, and I don't like to quote auditors, but there's no expectation of privacy in a public place. Okay, and it would be the same if someone, let's suppose there was half a dozen hikers following you, and one had his camera, his phone, and was walking along filming. Would you feel annoyed then? Would you feel? What did you say you felt? You felt a bit annoyed. Would you feel a wee bit annoyed about that? You probably wouldn't if it was somebody's phone. So you've got to think that there's no difference between a phone and a drone camera. It's just a camera. The drone just happens to be the vehicle that carries the drone, and it can carry it to more places than a person's hand can carry a camera that's on a phone. So if it doesn't annoy me, anybody can film me anywhere. That doesn't bother me at all. If it bothers you and it annoys you, suck it up, mate. That's my take on it. Okay, and I'm sorry if you're annoyed about that, but I don't really care. I think that's going to become my new catchphrase. Reports increased by 300%. Is that reports to the CAA and the police about drone users? That doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. Right, I don't know what you mean by except for youngsters, Robert. Except for youngsters. You mean filming youngsters? Well, once again, if they're in a public place, it's the same. Supposing I was on a walk. Let's say I was going up the cairn table. And there are a lot of people walk up there because it's a lovely walk and a lovely view from the top, as you know if you've watched some of my videos. Let's suppose there was a family in front of me and they had a couple of young kids. That's not going to stop me filming my walk up, and if they happen to be in the video, it's not going to stop me. If the parents in court said, look, what are you doing with that video? We don't want it publicised. I may say to him, look, okay, that's fair enough. If you really feel that strongly about it, of course I won't publish it. Or if I am going to publish it, I'll pixelate out your kids' faces if that's okay. But if they started getting stroppy with me and demanding I delete it, I'd tell them to get on one, and I'd post the video up. So that's the way the world is at the moment. If people are reasonable with people should be reasonable back. Excuse me, I'm just going to go and shut those blinds because the sun's coming in and blinding me again. There we go. I didn't bother shutting them earlier because it was raining and cloudy and horrible. Youngsters. Yeah, I understand the concern there, but it's what if it's a youngster that is 15, maybe 16, or 18, maybe 17, or 12, maybe 18. It's like I haven't got time to go to everybody and say, look, I'm doing a bit of filming and your kids might be in it if you get a problem. It's no time for that. I'm just going to film, and if they've got a problem with it and they say to me, we really don't want you filming our kids, I'll explain what I'm doing and I'll say, okay, don't worry about it, I'll pixelate it out, or I'll cut that part of my video out and I wouldn't do it. If they start demanding things from me, they'll be told to do one. There you go. That might make me not a very nice guy, but there it is. Right, Caroline says, she had a gamekeeper ask me not to fly in a particular area as the grouse were raising their young. Reasonable request, and he pointed to an area close which we find. Fair enough. I thought, absolutely. That's exactly the way that I would hope the ranger, if he approaches me again, I hope he comes up. If he had come up to me and said, hi mate, I can see you flying a drone there. Are you aware that there's an osprey nest no too far away? I'd have said, I know it's over there, isn't it? I said, and I would have told him, I said, look, I'm specifically flying away over here. Look, here's where I'm flying. Have a look here. I would have showed him that. Ad Vandenberg, thanks very much for your sub. Appreciate that. I would have said to him, here's where I'm flying. I'm well away from it. Are you happy that I am having enough distance there? And I would have told him why I was flying, and I would have said to him, look, some of the footage I get for here is really nice. I take some nice pictures of the loch and the dam and different things. If you give me your email address, I'll send you a few through, and you know, if you want to, you can show them whatever you like, or you can do whatever you want. That's how the conversation would have gone, and that's how I would have liked it to have gone as well. But if you get, and he's not even an official, he's just a guy that works for the local estate, upkeeping their grounds. That's all he is. He's just a guy. Graham Lindsay, thanks for your sub. So, you know, I hope the next time that I have an encounter with anyone, not just the park ranger, anyone at all, it goes more like that. And Caroline, if it had gone the way yours did, absolutely, it was a reasonable request, a very reasonable request, and the way he approached it was I'm getting a lot of pigs, a lot of people subbing. Thanks for all the subs that just came in there. That's the way I would have dealt with it. The way you did, I'd said, okay, no problem. I'll go over and I'll fly somewhere else, or I would have said, you know what, I'll not even bother. I'll land the drone and I'll go somewhere else and fly. And we are all reasonable. Most of us are reasonable people, and we expect to be treated reasonably as well. We don't expect somebody to come and start barking orders at no drones and what you doing here. Otherwise, that's just going to get our backs up. There you go, Barry. Better late than ever. Better late than ever. Better late than never. Have to watch the replay. Aye, there's nothing much. It's just me waffling a load of nonsense, Barry. Don't worry about it. You're never missing much by missing the first 59 minutes of this live stream. Right, Bill says he's mentioned you in a couple of his videos. Who Bills? I missed you. Oh, there, you should team up with Keamy Heron and make a couple of lies of him. Ken mentioned me in one of his videos. He actually emailed me. I mentioned this in a couple of live streams ago. He emailed me to ask if it was okay to use some of my footage. It was the one where I lost a prop mid-flight and managed to bring Lassie back home. And he asked if he could use that, and a part of that in his video, because he intended making one. He made one that I had already made, trying to fly it with four props. I didn't know if he'd mentioned me in some of his other videos. I'll have to go and have a look at Ken's recent videos, and I would. I know he does a live stream, and I'd be happy to pop into Ken's live stream if he ever asked me. But Ken's huge; he's a massive big YouTuber. I'm just a wee minnow. You know, why would he want me on his live stream? I'm far too small. Doug, thanks very much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Like I was saying, it's these wee super chats and things like that in the memberships and the buy me a coffee and that allow me to put fuel in the tank so I can get out and about, because it costs a fortune, as everyone knows these days, to put fuel in the tank, and it's fuel that goes in the tank to get me out and about. So thanks, Doug. I really appreciate that. Right. Wayne says, is it fair to throw something at it if it's too close? Are you talking about throw something at the drone? No, you're not allowed to do that. It's like throwing a bullet at it. No, that's it's vandalism. How would you, if your window was too close to someone and they threw something at it, is that reasonable? Is it reasonable to throw something at somebody's car if it's too close? Come on, you know the answer to that as well as I do. There you go, JJ. No expression of privacy in a public place. Sums it up, I'm not sure. Aye, and it's not nice for some people. I mean, people can be annoyed about it. I'm just walking along, mind my own business, and you're filming me. Hey, you know, that's we're a free society. What do you want? Some police to come down, or so the special black ops come down out a helicopter and say, you can't be filming that guy who's walking along there. No, it's a free public place. Graham, thanks very much for that. Really appreciate the super chat. Fantastic. Here's Kansas. Ken came up with a T-shirt for the fight against FA regulations. It's called FAAHQ, pronounced FAC. I can't believe you just made me say that out loud. Am I going to get a strike against this now? I like that one. Good idea. I've only got my wee Windswept t-shirts with this logo here, which nobody's bought a single one. My dad was asking me the day, I was telling him about the merch. I said, I got these things myself, and a lot of people said they wanted them. So I made a merch thing. He said, has anybody bought any? And I said, not a single thing. Which is fair enough. No, I'm not asking him to buy my stuff, but it's there if you want it. If you want a hat or a t-shirt or a hoodie, it's there for you. You'll see it. I've got a link in all my descriptions. Paul Kane says, an instance doing street photography at a public bus station in the evening with only 5 people present. Security told me to move on. Member of public unit offence. I mean, I don't know what country you're in, Paul, but in this country, if I was out taking footage of anything and people told me to move on, they'd be told where to go. You know, they'd be told, in my own inimitable fashion, politely but firmly, no, ball bag. I've never seen. I think I've seen a little snip of one of Ken's live shows. It would be late for me, but that wouldn't be a problem to me. It might be a problem for my neighbours though. Me wittering along at like 3 or 4 in the morning. So, but if Ken ever asked me, I'd probably agree. Right. Anyway, time's getting on here. 1:45. Let me get up because I've got another couple of points I want to get through. Right. I'm going to be doing a video very soon on my opinion on the Mini 3, which is right here. The Mini 3, covering up the operator ID, which is right there. I'm going to be doing an update on my opinion. Now that I've been flying for, I think it's about a month I've been flying Caledonia, I'm going to be doing a video on my opinion over now. If you've seen the video that I posted earlier on today, I think about 4 o'clock, on the parallel tracking that the Mini 3 was doing, what caught me a little bit by surprise, I wasn't expecting it, was that the place that I was walking was like an undulating area with a hill going down and up, and the drone Caledonia followed me up and down, which I was not expecting, and I didn't consider that. When I tried that with Lassie, my Mini 2, using Maven, and I started to go up a hill, Lassie was going down, was going to crash into the ground, because even with the Maven, although it can track you, it won't track you up and down. It'll only track you laterally. I think that's the word, horizontally. So it was quite a nice surprise to see that the active track on the Mini 3 will go up and down hills. So I'm going to be doing an update video on that. And here's another thing I want to mention. I bought these things here, right? Now, these look as if they're the same thing, right? They come from the same place, and they're screen protectors, anti-glare screen protectors for the new RC. This RC here. Look how glary and how glassy that is. It's very reflective. So I bought these. I bought 2 different types. They look the same, but they're actually not. They're different. If you look there at you'll see that's a Krystowski, whatever the hell that means, and that one is where am I going? Right, Krystowski, and that one's a DJI Smart Controller. So they're slightly different. I'm terrible at this, lining up with right. So although they look exactly the same, they're supposed to be different. I'll be doing a video where I'm opening them up and looking at them to see if they are different, because they're different price. One was more expensive than the other. Can't remember which one, but I've still got I've still got the packaging, so I'll check that. One is more expensive than the other, but they look exactly the same to me, other than the wee sticker here. But so I'll be opening these up, putting them on, and doing a little test to see if it prevents some of that glare, and if it is as anti-reflective as I hope it is, because that is one of the things that really lets the. In fact, it's the only thing for a hobbyist flyer who isn't a YouTube creator that really lets down the whole Mini 3 package, is the reflectiveness of that RC control. It's only 700 nits, but the brightness isn't as important as how much glare and reflectivity there is from it in a bright day. So I'm hoping that they're both matte. As you can see, they're both matte. I think they're both matte. Right? They're both matte, and I'll be checking them both out. And if they're both exactly the same, obviously I'll let you know to get the cheaper one. What's the point in paying dear if they're both exactly the same? But if they are different, I'll let you know what I think. You'll see it all. I'll do an opening, and I'll put it on in video, and then I'll go out and I'll test it and I'll show you. So that'll be coming up soon. Right, we've got 10 minutes to go, so I can quickly have a look here. Right, Saffron's saying, is it easy to get permission for the Kelpies? No permission required. Go in and fly. Here's the thing. Let me speak about this for a minute. There are certain places, National Trust and the National Trust for Scotland are notorious for this, for not allowing you to. They don't want you to fly over their land. You can. Legally you can. They don't want you to take off and land from their property, but you legally can. Right? And here's how it works. They'll say you're trespassing, and they'll put signs up. But the way it works is, and I've checked into this to make sure that I'm right about it, if you go onto an area of private land, any private land, it doesn't matter whether it's National Trust or not, it can be any private land, you can take off and fly your drone about. As soon as someone from that land, who either owns the land or who is acting as an agent of the landowner, asks you to leave the premises, leave the land, then you must bring your drone in, land your drone, and leave. If you don't, you are then trespassing. So you're not trespassing until you have been asked to leave and refused. You're then trespassing. So you can go anywhere and take off and fly. And if you fly around and you get the footage that you want and land, you're fine. Even if there are signs up saying no drones, you can do that. What you can't do is continue to fly and get your shots after someone has asked you to leave private land. But it has to be someone who's either the owner or acting on behalf of the owner. It can't be just Joe Public saying, this is private, you get yourself hunted. They can get hunted, right? I went a bit Scottish on you there. It has to be an owner or an agent of the owner that tells you and then if you don't move, you're then trespassing and you're committing a criminal offence. So I hope that helped a wee bit there with if you can fly at the Kelpies or whatever. And a lot of messages come in there. Right, Andy says, I've used that anti-glare type in my tablet. It does cut the glare, but it seriously reduces the brightness of the tablet. What, this Brotect one here, Andy? Right. That is a wee concern, because the brightness is only 700 nits on the RC, which is not really bright. It's not even as bright as an iPhone 12, which is 850, and an iPhone 13 is 1200, so it's not bright at all. So if you're saying that cuts the brightness down, that's going to make it even worse. So that is the bad thing about the RC3. Martin, thanks for the super chat. Really appreciate that. It's good. Honestly, all of these super chats help me out so much to get out and make as many videos. That's why I've been posting 3 videos a week in a live chat, because the people like yourself who have been super chatting and sending in like fuel, buy me a fuel and all that, and the members are allowing me to get out more. So I really appreciate that. Yeah, Tom B says, you're a breath of fresh air, sir. I have to put up a couple of comments that bummed me up a little bit. Made me smell tonight. Videos have been great. Thanks very much for that, Tom. I appreciate that. I just most of the time I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just sticking the camera on and going and doing my thing. And you'll see in some of my older videos where I said, I'm going to try this out. And while I'm testing something, I discover something else. And it catches me by surprise on the video too, but it's good because I've learned a new thing, and hopefully anyone who's watching it has learned this new thing along with me. So I enjoy making the videos, and I enjoy reading the comments about people saying, oh, I learned something new there, because I learn new things all the time when I'm out. So if we're all learning together, how, how can it be any better than that? Right, so we're coming up to 5-2, and as usual, I don't want to run into the Drone Seekers International time, so I have to be careful at sort of 5-2, because I know a few of you will be popping out. Caroline usually says cheerio a couple of minutes before, so she can get over to watch the Drone Seekers. But I'll try and get through a few more comments before we go. Right. Gerard says, I see on another site that people are complaining about overheating issues on the Mini 3 while updating and flying. Have you any experience of this? I'll just say quickly to Mark, thanks very much for the fuel in my tank, Mark. You know how much it means to me. Right, the only time I've noticed overheating is I don't charge my battery up in the drone. I've got the flying mode pack with the charger, so I put them in there and charge them up, and they don't overheat in there. The only time I have noticed a bit of overheating was one time I thought, let's have a look at this, and I did try to charge. Well, I started to charge up a battery inside the drone, and I could feel it was overheating. And I thought, right, I won't do that anymore. And then I tested it again by trying to transfer some footage, because I wanted to see if it was any faster than taking out the SD card and transferring it that way. So I started to transfer some footage directly from the drone into my computer, and it was heating up then as well. And just for your information, for everyone's information, it's not any faster doing it that way than it is taking the card out, putting it into a card reader and uploading it to computer. Both equally as fast. So, Paul, thanks very much for that. Will it pay for the tax day in the street? No, it won't. It absolutely won't. Every tiny little bit of fuel that goes into the tank takes it closer to the top and gets me out further. So no, I appreciate every single penny that everyone gives me, and hopefully it won't be for much longer that people have to well, don't have to, but people do throw a wee bit of fuel in the tank, because hopefully as the channel grows and I start to get a bit more ad money coming in from Google, or YouTube, which isn't much at the moment, that'll cover most of my fuel. It's covered some of my fuel just now, but not all of it. Right, we're getting close there. So Bill says, if you say the Mini 3, would it really be worth buying the RC version? Now I said it first. My opinion was that if you're buying the Mini 3, just buying the Mini 3 and a battery, if you already have a Mini 2 and you can use the RCN1. If you are just buying the Mini 3, Alan, thanks very much for your membership, and you're deciding then, should I get the RC or the RCN1? I'm not so sure now. I'm not so sure. The RC has its issues, right? It's not very bright. It's very glary. And the screen resolution recording is very, very low, which is only a problem if you're a YouTuber like myself. If you're not a YouTuber, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to you. But it has a lot of good features. I do like it. I'm starting to really like this controller. It's very easy to use. You don't have to, there's no setting up time. You just draw it out, switch it on, away you go. And it's a 1080p screen when you're looking at it, so it's really good quality to look at. So I'm kind of starting to change my opinion on this a little bit. I do like it, apart from the glare, but you get the glare with a phone as well on an RCN1. But the thing is, you can put the phone in a drone mask, and then you're going to have all the trolls shouting at you that you don't have VLOS because you've got a drone mask on. Sometimes you can't win, but I don't know. I'll do a video about it. I said I'm doing a video about my opinion, my updated opinion on the whole Mini 3 thing, and I'll be speaking a little bit about the RC. So it'll be coming up soon. I've got a lot of videos planned, and I just need a bit of weather and time to get out and do them all. So I will be doing that. Right, I've got a minute and a half left, so let's just have a quick look at you. You've tried it. Suffocated Adventures have tried it with a couple of controllers, and it seems to be the same in each. I don't know what you mean the same. You talk about the distance or the signal. Not quite sure what you mean there. Thanks, Andy. I will keep at it. Sudbury drone, first timer. Hope you come back. I do this every Sunday, or I have been for the past few Sundays, and I'll keep doing it because everybody seems to do it. We're going to get out of there now. We've got 55 seconds. So Mark has said it. Don't forget to hit that like button. That always helps the algorithm push the videos out. Right. I'm going to shoot off now. Thanks very much for coming along. There's Border Drone Seekers. He's away. Everybody's going to be. So thanks very much for coming along now. I'm going to go, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Thanks a lot for coming along.
Out of my way.
You're always so angry.
Caledonia, get back here.